Hey guys, good evening. It's Cali. Today I'm going to show you how I created this beautiful harvest decor for the celebration of Mabon, the autumn equinox. I made yet another kind of boho witchy flag to hang on my wall or door. You guys can customize this however you would choose. This is just what I chose to do. And I love Mabon. I love the fall. This time of year is equally balanced. And we're moving into the colder months, at least here in the northern hemisphere. And I'm just celebrating the bounty of the harvest, the love of my family and friends, and all of my blessings, and at the same time trying to find a balance to really just nurture myself and everyone around me. So part of that nurturing is creating, and I hope you guys will join me as I show you how I created this beautiful Harvest Bounty flag, and I'll see you in just a minute. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to show you what I'm going to use today. I may change as we go along, but I'm going to give you the general idea, and I wanted to show you before I used everything. First, I'm going to have a hoop, and I save these. I collect them when they come up in my travels. You can use an embroidery hoop. You could fashion a hoop out of wire if you want and just reinforce it with some tape. So some type of circular hoop. You're going to need a stick of your choice. This came from my oak tree outside. Please don't take living branches off of trees. This one was on the ground, so I took it. It's not perfectly straight by any means, but it's nice and sturdy. And I'm going to leave this bark here that's on it. I'll let it come off naturally, but so you'll need a stick. Just some basic tools. Definitely a pair of scissors. May or may not use some pliers, some wire tools, possibly. I have my handy dandy glue gun. Definitely use that. We're going to use, oh, and you also may need a big needle. May or may not. You know, we may get away with just using the glue gun. I have some cheap wire that I got at the Dollar Tree. It's floral wire. It's probably, I don't know, 18 gauge or so. It's fairly thick. It's very malleable. So we're going to use that. I have an assortment of hemp twine and jute twine. I have some fall color ribbons. I got a lot of these at the Dollar Tree. I had some of them in my own personal stash. Ribbons of your choice. I'm also going to be using some of this burlap ribbon or cloth, if you will. Cut it into strips and use that. I have some homemade ribbon from old silk saris that I've torn up and created my own ribbons with, so I may pull out some in autumn colors and use those as well. I also have some traditional satin ribbon in some autumn golds, and just, you know, ribbons and trims of your choice. I picked up some, I'm not a big fan of fake plastic flowers at all, but in something that can be used for outdoor decor, you know, by all means, if you want to use fresh leaves and dip them in paraffin, you could do that too, but I just picked these up at the Dollar Tree, and what we don't use here today, I'll keep for next year. These do look pretty realistic, and they're very sturdy, and I've used them in other projects too, so got some of those. And speaking of fake flowers and things, I told you I'm not a big fan, but once in a while we may incorporate, I picked these up at the Dollar Tree, some of this fake wheat just to represent the harvest. And these are just, I thought, were really cool colors we may use in the project here and there, as well as these little pumpkins. I'm not sure about those, but this was like $4 for all of that. And Oh, I also have this sturdier jute twine. This has a wire in it. I may use that. Not sure. I'm kind of letting this flow organically, you guys. I haven't put a lot of thought into this at all. I'm just going with my gut here today. So I hope it turns out okay. I also have a bunch of pre-beaded beads. These have been hanging in my window. Trust me, I have plenty to spare. So they're already strung, but by all means, you know, take some string and string some beads. But I want to incorporate these as well. And we may or may not incorporate one of the charms that I made with the essential oil clay charms. I thought it might be cool to maybe, this one has some autumn colors in it as well. So maybe, maybe not. I'll put all links to any videos I've referenced below this one. Okay, so that's what we're going to use, and I'm going to clear off here and we'll get started. Okay guys, so the first thing I decided to do was actually add the hanging part to the stick, and I'm going to use the jute twine for that. And I've decided to do just a simple 3-strand braid. So I cut quite a lot of this twine because I actually want it to hang down and incorporate in the ribbon. So I'm going to determine how, you know, I don't really want it to be that much above the stick. So this will like pretend there's a nail right here. So I'm going to kind of eyeball where I want it, taking into account the fact that I'm going to be leaving these tails here. And all I'm going to do is, and I wish I could remember the name of this knot. My macrame friends, please tell me. Just, I'm going to double over the string. I think it's like a half shank or something. Put it here, and then put all the string through it. All the way. Okay? And then just tighten it up like that. And then, so now we have, I'm working upside down. So now we have 6 strands, obviously. I'm going to let 3 of those strands hang, and I don't care which 3 do that, but those will be the 3 that are going to hang, and these will be the 3 that we're going to braid. So again, you could do this however you want. You don't have to do it my way, but this is just what I'm feeling today. And I don't know if any of you, I'm thinking everybody knows how to braid, but if you don't, I'll just show you. Very simply, 1, 2, 3. We're going to go over the center, and then this one's going over this, and just back and forth. I'm sure you all know how to do this, especially if you're girls or have little girls, but just in case you don't. All right, so I'm going to braid this all the way across, and then do the same knot on the other side and let it hang down. All right. It's going to take me a few minutes to get this done. I'll see you back here when it is. Okay, so this part's done. And again, it's optional, you guys. So I'm going to attach it the same way, or attempt to. I'm just going to do this loop, and I'm going to put a little twist in it just so we can catch the string on the inside. See how I'm pulling that? And then we'll pull it through. That should work out, she says, hopefully. Okay, yeah, there we go. And what I'm going to do probably is add a bead here, like a big wooden bead. I'll just thread it through the 3 of those and tie a knot, so that'll kind of put a little finish to the top there. These are really simple, guys, and once you get playing with them, you know, just let anything you want to hang on these, okay? So I'm just going to leave these threads hanging, and we'll trim them up at the end. All right? So we're going to deal with hanging the ribbons the same way. You can either lay them on here and do that same kind of a knot, you know, give that little, now that's going to drive me crazy, half hitch, whatever kind of a knot, and start laying them in that way if you'd like. And I love this frayed look, okay? If you don't like that, oh, that didn't work out at all. If you don't like that, you know, trim them up, make them nice and neat. So you can either lay them on that way, she says, or you can hot glue them to the top. How else? You could use tacky glue, I guess, all right? You could sew them with a needle and thread. But I'm basically, and you know, in keeping with the theme of balance, I'm going to try to incorporate, I'm going to go back and forth. And as I thread my ribbons on, I'm going to be giving thanks and think of all the blessings in my life and be thankful for the bounty of the harvest and all these things that the season represents and all the blessings we have every day. And so I'll be thinking that as I put them on, and I'm going to try to balance out each side. And then we're going to fill all this in same way, all right? Again, you could either do it that way or use your hot glue gun. Just put a little bead of glue, watch your fingers, and hang your ribbons down. Once we're done with that, we're going to come back and make our pentagram and hang that in the center as well. And yeah, so I'm going to just fill this in, and I'll see you back here when all my ribbons are in, and then we'll get decorating and put the pentagram. See you in a minute. Okay, guys, I've been at this for about a half an hour now, and I just wanted to show you, I've hung this on a nail on the back of a door to make it easier to work with. And I looked, it was driving me crazy. It's called a lark's head knot or a reverse double half hitch. I'm sure it's something different in every country, but, and sorry for the echo effect. I'm in between doors here. So I'm still not done, but this is the base, and you can see I didn't have to worry about covering the stick at all because it's covered nicely by the ribbons. I'm going to continue to just fill some more in, and then I think we'll hang those beads on it. I'm just going to continue with this, and then, yeah, see you in a minute. Okay, guys, I'm really happy with the placement of all my ribbons here. I made it pretty thick, but, you know, you could still see through it. You could definitely hang this in a window and get light through it. So, yeah. It needs a little trimming on the bottom. I'm going to even up the bottom here and just kind of, I'm not going to do it straight across. I'm going to swoop it. And our next step, or what I'm going to do, I showed you those pre-beaded beads I have. And for instance, I have a strand right here. And these beads that I had hanging in my window, I had on these keychain fobs. So I'm actually going to use this to incorporate, to thread the bead over the rod. But if you don't have that, just sew a strand of beads on or tie a strand of beads on, okay? You don't need to have this, but I'm just going to randomly place beads throughout the piece. So I have 4 strands that I'm going to work with, and I'm going to balance them out across. You don't have to, but I'm just trying to keep with the theme of balance here. So I'm going to do that next, and I'll show you where we're at. See you in a minute. Okay, I finished hanging the beads, and I decided on 5. I did one for earth, air, fire, water, and spirit. And the spirit one has a feather on it. So I love it, you guys. You know, I hope you try this. Let me know if you do. And that's where we are. So I apologize again that I'm not showing you step by step how I put the bead on and everything. I don't have the filming set up right now where I could do that. And, you know, these are very basic things. So I think you guys can figure it out, right? Oh, and I trimmed it up. And it doesn't look like it is, but I wanted it random like that. So when it moves in the breeze, you know, there's some movement to it. So what do you think? Love it. All right, now we're going to move on to, I'm going to plug in the hot, well, you know what? Now, let's make the pentagram. And if you're not a witch or so inclined, you don't have to. Skip this part and just use whatever seasonal decor you'd like. But I am going to put up a pentagram here and use this as a frame for it. So I'm going to bring you back to the table and we'll do that next. Okay, so here we are. And again, this step is totally optional, or you could put the centerpiece of your choice if you'd like. But I'm taking our ring, and I had originally thought that I wanted to use this red wire to form our pentagram with, but I've changed my mind, and let's go with this. You know, you use whatever you want. Any kind of string will work. I'm actually going to go over this with jute twine, but my intention, and again, this is almost like a jute twine, but it has a wire to it. So we're just going to leave, I'm going to form just a loop at the top, just a little, and this is how we're going to hang it on our ribbons. And I have my hot glue gun plugged in right now, but I don't think we're going to need it. We'll see. If I feel like it needs to be secured, we will. But all I'm going to do, actually I should start this way, is wrap around all the way around the whole hoop, okay, with this twine. And I may not need to cover it. It's really nice. But the jute twine would do the same, and you could buy that super cheap at a hardware store. Anyway, so let's do the whole way around, and I'll see you back here. I'm going to stop here, and then we're going to form our pentagram. See you in 1 minute. Okay, so that took a long time, about 20 minutes or so, but we're back at the top here, and I'm going to be cutting this here when we're done, and I'll leave a tail, and we can actually just tie this directly to the ribbons and everything. But now, for the next part, I'm just going to use this to form our pentagram, and I'm going to just take the string. You could do wire, whatever you'd like. All right, you guys, I have to turn this to face me, but I'm just wrapping it. You know, I'll form it where I want. And I just wrapped it around, and then we'll come up here, and you can adjust it, you know, when you're done. I'm talking like I've done this one before. I haven't. And this wire is wonderful, but it's also frustrating at times too, because it was prone to tangle. But all right, here we go. And then now you can add beads as you go along if you'd like, however you want to do this. I have all kinds of wire sticking up on the side. Again, let me turn this toward me so I can see. Before I go too crazy, I'm just going to adjust it before I tighten it. And like I said, do the symbol of your choice. Put a bunch of pine cones and acorns, or, you know, whatever you want to do. All right, this is still up too high. Actually, I don't need to wrap it. There we go. Sorry, guys. All right. I want to make sure it's somewhat secure, because if we put any more, my goodness, you know what? It might help if I cut this. How about that? I might have been better off with the wire. All right, you know what? I actually want to go backwards. Sorry, guys. There we go. I didn't wind it around each one, but maybe I will here. And you can just see I'm free-forming a pentagram shape. Do any symbol that represents balance to you, you know? An equal armed cross, anything. Put a heart. All right, we're going to wrap it around. One more time. I'm definitely going to cut this right now because we're right at the end here. Okay, and like I said, if you guys want, thanks for sticking with me through all that. You could add beads along here. Okay, my thought was to decorate with some of these leaves. Okay, and maybe some of those little flowers here. All right, so let me tie this off, and got my hot glue gun heated up, and I want to play around and see what I got, and then I'll show you how I want to decorate this before we hang it up. See you in a minute. Okay, so here we are. I had to stop myself before I kept going. I just want to give you a general idea. The first thing I did was I put this little pentagram charm that I have here. Hope you guys can see this. I just added a jump ring and hung that there. You could hang anything or nothing at all. And these are those leaves I showed you before. I have they're not glued down yet, but I just wanted to give you an idea. And I decided to, yes, I'm going to incorporate the essential oil charm. Please check out the video if you haven't. I'll link it below. These are already loaded up with orange and patchouli and frankincense and cinnamon oil. So it smells amazing. Again, with a feather to represent spirit. And then we have crescent moon, and there's a big fat harvest moon behind it. Beads are the color of the season. I just thought it fit perfectly. And also, this on its own could be hung as a dream catcher. You know, I'm going to add that to our ribbon background, but I'm going to keep it removable because absolutely this could hang on its own. I didn't have any little acorns or anything like that, but you can, you know, get as ornate or as simple as you'd like with this. So I have my hot glue gun glued in, and I'll just glue down I'm going to tie this here, and then we'll tie this to the thing, but I'll just show you one little spot. I like to use a chopstick when I use hot glue, so I don't burn my fingers. Come on. Oop, of course, you always use too much, right? But that's okay. We're going to cover it up. And I like the leaves pointing out like that. I'm just kind of framing the edge. I debated putting some of those wheat stalks or the other little flowers we had, but honestly, I didn't like the look of all the plastic next to it, and it was just too much. We have enough going on with all the ribbons and everything. All right, so I'm going to finish gluing the leaves on. I'm going to tie this on. I'm going to tie it up to the ribbon border, and then we'll see if we need to do any more decorating. It's hard for me to know when to stop sometimes. Okay, guys, I apologize for the echo. We're back in the closet again, although I came out of the broom closet a long time ago. I want to share with you my thought process here. So my original thought was to hang the pentagram, which I've got the leaves on, from here, and have all of this framing behind it. Well, I don't know if you agree or not, but it kind of gets lost. So then I said, Self, how about if you lift it up? And Self said, I don't know. And then I did. So what do you guys think? That's 100% better, isn't it? So I'm just going to add a loop here. And again, like I said, this will keep this pentagram part removable. And I'm going to let this hang down below it. Don't you agree? I thought you would. All right, so I'll see you back here when that's done. Okay, guys, here it is. Now, what do you think? Should I continue embellishing? I thought that maybe I would put some more stuff up here, but I don't think so. I kind of, there's enough going on here. I really like the simplicity of just the 5 leaves. My original thought was to maybe scatter some leaves through the ribbons. I might try that. I'll just do one with a little dab of glue and see how it looks. If I like it, I'll come back and I'll show you. And same thing, I'm not going to add any other elements. I was going to originally make a little broom, but I'm not. I'm going to save that for another project. I'm just going with my gut here, and this is what's speaking to me. And I just love it. So when I decide if I'm going to further embellish, I'll come back and I'll show you. And I really, really hope this inspires you guys to give this a try and personalize this and, yeah, give thanks and share your blessings. So I'll be back when I decide what I'm going to do here, but it's getting almost done. See you in a few. Okay, I'm going to call this done, you guys. As you can see, I didn't use the essential oil charms either. I just, I get carried away sometimes, but you can do whatever you want. I did scatter a few leaves. 5 being a few. And this is it. And, there's something to see every time you look. It's really the layers and the textures with the beads and all the different fabrics. I hope you've enjoyed this with me. I really enjoyed putting it together. And I hope you have a beautiful, bountiful, wonderful Thanksgiving time this year. And I love you guys all. So I'll see you very soon. Take care. Give me a thumbs up if you like this video. And subscribe if you have not yet subscribed. And don't forget to go check out my beautiful gypsy sister, Miss Rita Marie, and see what she did for her offering for the Gypsy and Witch this month. And check out our Facebook group. I'll put the link to that below too. We welcome any gypsy, witchy, hippie, bohemian artist type people. We'd love to see you guys over there, and you can show us what you're doing. So take care, and I'll see you very soon. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Blessed be.